Welcome back to the third place game here for the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. We're inside a partially renovated Madison Square Garden, year one of a 3-year project. Dan Schulman and Bob Knight with you. A 2-point lead for Texas A&M over St. John's as we go to the second half. And for about the first 10 minutes of the game, it looked, Coach, like A&M was in control, but then St. John's got back into the game. What are you looking for in the second half?
Well, I thought that part of the reason that A&M got off to such a good start was St. John's carelessness on defense. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like A&M accepted the careless role because they committed a lot of bad fouls. They put the Johnnies on the free throw line. That helped. They weren't nearly as good against the zone as they had been in the first 10 minutes. I think if St. John's can stay with them in the first 5 minutes, I think it'll be a pretty tough game all the way down. Let's
take a look now at our first half stats brought to you by Reese's, and you can see some big differences between the two teams. The rebounds 24-11 in favor of A&M, but the free throw attempts 14-2 in favor of St. John's. And if you look at all the stats but didn't know the score, you'd get the feeling A&M had a bigger lead than just 2 points, but St. John's is right in this game.
Well, those 14 free throws that they shot came from a lot of fouls that were committed out of carelessness rather than something that just had to be done.
A&M in white, St. John's in red, Mississippi State and Arizona still to come from the Garden tonight. Cross-court look, Jordan Green, and a travel.
Good call. It was a good call. I wasn't the same guy that was complaining back there, though. That was another
That's
guy
somebody else.
that said it was a good call.
St. John's has never led in this game.
You know, but they had pretty good patience in the last 10 minutes of the game. They looked around. They weren't in a hurry to get a shot.
Achua left the jumper short.
Didn't like that one. Don't like those big, heavy postmen coming out and taking jump shots.
He's played very well in the first 3 games of the season, not nearly as well in the 2 games here in this tournament in the Garden as LeBeau draws the foul. Achua had some big games early for St. John's, granted against William and Mary, Lehigh, and UMBC, so perhaps a different caliber of competition. You can see the numbers, but we have not seen that player in this tournament.
That foul that LeBeau just drew there is getting the ball inside. Here may be another foul. Well, he got a bucket out of it instead of the foul. That's something that A&M went away from after the first few minutes of the game. Now, if they go back to getting the ball inside, then they're going to be too tough for St. John's to handle defensively.
Ray Turner with the bucket. Now a turnover by Harkless, and the Aggies have it. Good position inside again by Turner. Back-to-back buckets.
You know, I like what Harris did there. He came up with the ball. He crossed midcourt with it. He didn't try to take it where he couldn't go. Made an excellent pass inside. He had good vision, and he was playing at the right tempo. Really good play by Harris on the pass.
Senior point guard out of Los Angeles, Dash Harris, number 5. Penetration by Lindsay. Offensive foul.
All right, we're going to see Harris get the ball here. Good say. There he comes. He looks. Good pass. Really good drop pass. Now, St. John's could have had a much better help situation than they got out of Harkless, I think it was.
Harris, as you can see, was cut very early in the game in the first couple of minutes. Got bandaged up and has come back playing well. He's wide open for a 3 now. Another long rebound. Long shots, long rebounds, and the Aggies getting a lot of them.
Green had the postman open inside, and it was Turner. He needs to dump that down into Turner.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. LeBeau inside, and the big guys are really exerting their influence right now for the Aggies, taking advantage of the smaller post players of the Red Storm. Harkless for 3. Rebound A&M. Harris with a full head of steam. Green flying in from the wing for the uncontested jam.
You know, a comment that we made to start that St. John's has to stay in for the first 5 minutes, and they just haven't done that in 3 minutes.
An 8-0 run for the Aggies in the first 2:35 of the second half. Dash Harris off to Jordan Green, and the A&M lead has grown to 10. Back at the Garden, and a 10-point lead now for Texas A&M. Coach Knight talked about how important the first few minutes of the second half were for St. John's, and it's been all Aggies, Coach, so far. What is Texas A&M doing well on the break here?
We know they haven't made very many mistakes, A&M. Here Harris sets up the second straight bucket from the middle of the floor. There was a little walk there that wasn't called. But Harris has set up 2 buckets in a row with his ability to see the court. That one was as much a result of St. John's being very slow getting back on defense as it was with Harris's ability with the basketball, although Harris made really nice play.
Jordan Green, the recipient of that pass, is a true freshman out of Flower Mound, Texas, starting, as we mentioned in the first half, for the injured Chris Middleton, A&M's best player, out after knee surgery. A torn meniscus, had it about a week ago. They hope to get him back in 2 to 3 weeks.
Middleton's big loss too, Dan, as we discussed before the game. Very, very good player.
6'7" junior, about 15 points per game last year.
Now they're doing a better job taking away the drive here. That isn't going to hurt A&M, that shot that they took. But they got a little bit careless, A&M did, in the last 10 minutes of the first half, giving up the drive.
We had a foul just before what would have been a shot clock violation there. Chris Middleton, there he is, and surgery on the right knee. He'll come back. When he comes back, he'll start at the small forward position, give him more depth, and give him a real viable inside-outside scoring option.
Yeah, he's a very good scorer.
As we mentioned, the Big 12 is considered to be somewhat wide open. In the preseason poll, the coaches, as they are in every league, are asked to pick, and A&M and Kansas tied for first in terms of the number of votes they got, that the coaches felt they would win the conference. But Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma State, Baylor, there are a lot of teams right now that could contend up near the top of the Big 12.
They bring a guy up a little bit higher against that press up above the top of the circle. They got a push and foul inside.
LeBeau of A&M called for the foul. That's going to be his third.
Now this is kind of what happened, although it hasn't thus far, but St. John's got 2 from what was a poor foul, and now they lose a possession. So they get a bucket here. It's kind of like the way they played in the first half, although there's a very good steal.
Turner couldn't keep it in bounds.
I think we're going to get LeBeau out of the game here.
What do you want to see from St. John's offensively? What do they need to do better against?
Well, I think what they did in the getting back into the game was get the ball inside. They got some good baskets inside, and they got to the free throw line. But now A&M is playing the drive a little bit better. They got really good help there. And they're going to end up with the rebound. Ooh, got offensive.
Green and count the basket.
Well, now see, they've come right back, Dan. They from a 10-point deficit. This is, what do you call it? Deja vu. What is that French expression?
Deja vu all over again. Huh?
What is that French expression? Anyhow, now A&M has kind of let them get back into it with some careless play around the backboard.
St. John's not a big team, but a very athletic team. They have not done a good job rebounding the ball so far this season, have not done a good job rebounding the ball here in this game. As you can see, being out-rebounded 29-17, but they just had 3 offensive rebounds on 1 possession.
When Hibbert gets the ball in the middle like that, he's got to turn and face the bucket right away, because chances are he's got a 3-on-2 situation because of the setup of that press.
Ray Turner's got a mismatch. He wants the ball inside. Instead, it'll be a jumper. Turner battling for the rebound, has it taken away by Harrison. And Ray Turner called for the foul as Harrison was tripped. A timeout on the floor, a 5-0 run for the Red Storm to cut the deficit to 5.
Adnan Verk in our Bristol studios. Coach K returns to Cameron Indoor for the first time since win number 903. He's got Austin Rivers, Doc Rivers' son, to make him feel proud. 12 points per game, tied for third of the Blue Devils so far. 15 minutes away from Duke on ESPNU. For now, I'll send you back to Dan Shulman and Bobby Knight. Guys.
And thank you. Let's take a look at the EA Sports Maui Invitational. Duke will be there. That tournament begins on Monday. Their first matchup is against the Volunteers of Tennessee. 4 ranked teams, with Michigan and Memphis and Kansas also in the field. The semifinals Tuesday, the championship game Wednesday. You ever take your Indiana teams out to Hawaii?
We were probably went to Hawaii 4 or 5 different times to play in various tournaments. We won the old Rainbow Classic. We brought the ball out against the zone that Hawaii was playing against. A little gal about 5'4" started screaming at me for being such a chicken coach to bring them out. It was hilarious. And then they've done a great job with the tournament they go to now. And as you've mentioned already, they've got a great field in that tournament.
Year after year, Chaminade, the host school, 7 other programs going out to Maui. There's a 3 for Sir Dominic Pointer, and it's an 8-0 run for St. John's.
This is the second time that Texas A&M has let the team back in the game. Now, that's a great play right there and a terrible pass. He needed to take that right to the bucket.
Green a little bit out of control, bailed out by his buddy Stith. Again, St. John's has never led in this game. They have trailed by as many as 11.
Well, just them getting back in the game is a really good accomplishment for them.
10 to shoot.
Shot drive.
Harrison misses the 3, and the rebound to Robertson. Remember back about 3 minutes into the game, Texas A&M had made 3 threes already.
Yeah.
They've only made 1 since.
Then, yeah. That was not a good shot that Johnnies took there.
The drive by Elston Turner dumps it down to Ray Turner for the left-handed lay-in.
Real good job by the Turner passer by Elston. He made a really good move getting rid of the ball because he didn't have much of a shot with it. Don't need to go out with Pointer when he goes outside like that, and I don't think you need to go out with Harkless either. All right, here's really a good move inside. Excellent move by Turner to Turner for the bucket.
You know what we're seeing, Coach, is the Johnnies go back down on defense. Harkless and Harrison are having words with each other, and not like teammate, buddy, I got your back words. I mean, they are upset with each other after that last turnover. And again, this is a very young group, and at times we have seen in the last couple of games their emotions can get the best of them.
Well, they've had trouble. Oh, there's a bad steal as far as St. John's is concerned. Made a good defensive play, and then were careless with the basketball.
Dash really, Harris with the jam.
Really alert play by Harris. That kid's basically kept A&M in the game.
The second field goal. He's also got 5 assists in this game. Loose ball bouncing around. A&M's got it. Hibbert runs it down and lays it in.
That was a very great athletic play by Hibbert. He almost lost control of it and came up with the ball in his left hand to make the bucket. That was a heck of an athletic play.
He's a guy in their first couple of games hardly looked to score, and they have been asking him to become a little more assertive offensively. We've seen that here in the 2 games in New York.
St. John's has had pretty good patience. They've moved the ball. They've got people moving.
Harkless driving by Robertson, can't finish the layup. It bounces to Harrison, and he can't finish as well. Comes back down with it, and a foul on A&M.
All right, we're going to get a look right here at another really good play inside defensively by Harris that winds up with a bucket rather than St. John's being able to go down and get into that margin a little bit.
And a strong layup by Hibbert. That last foul was on David LeBeau, his 4th, and he has gone back to the bench, unable really to get on track here today. Harrison penetrates and draws the foul.
Good help by Hibbert, but he's going to wind up with the foul on it because he had to help twice And the second time, he got caught with the foul, but he was very active defensively. Hibbert is a good athlete, but he also has a sense of what's going on out there at both ends of the court.
At the line, D'Angelo Harrison.
Court sense is such an important thing, Dan. You know, a kid that can see, I always say, can you see the game? Can the kid see the game? And does he see what's going on? Does he understand it? And so many players, even players that are effective, don't see the game well.
Can you teach that to a player?
Yeah, I think you can. You teach him what to look for. You've got the ball. Who's the open man? Where can somebody double up on you? Look to make the pass. Get rid of the ball if you're in trouble.
Which of your players saw the court the best? Of all the players?
Well, I had a lot of them. You know, of course, Isaiah Thomas saw the court tremendously. Anytime the ball was in his hands, you felt comfortable that something good was going to come out of it.
A steal by the Red Storm, and Davis, not willing to give up the layup, commits the foul.
Now, there was a situation where a defensive man could have easily drawn the charge, and he made a move toward the ball, which almost always results in a defensive foul.
Nuruddin Lindsay at the line, 2 shots.
Okay. Lindsay misses the first. St. John's is a team that gets to the line a lot, but they're not necessarily a team that is a great free throw shooting team. 65% today, 67% on the season entering today.
He misses both of them there. So that's one of the toughest things to be able to accept offensively, is when you get that foul and you miss both of the opportunities to score.
Zach Kinsley into the game. Misses the 3.
See, he just came in the game, and the first time he touches the ball, he throws up a 3. And I never wanted to see that. I'd tell kids, you stay in the game. I want you in the game where you've touched the ball 2 or 3 times before you try to shoot it.
He's a transfer from the University of New Orleans.
And actually what he had was a shot fake, which is going to be able to take him inside with the ball. Now they've got 2-on-1 against the defensive post man.
Harris trying to battle out of the double team. And finally a foul on Pointer. A timeout on the floor. Texas A&M leading St. John's by 6. Both of these coaches hoping to avoid losses in consecutive days here in New York. Getting closer, the championship game of the 2K Sports Classic benefiting coaches versus cancer. Sean Miller and the Arizona Wildcats have arrived here at Madison Square Garden. After their win over St. John's last night, they have earned the right to play the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who defeated Texas A&M last night. DeBoss, the all-SEC point guard, will lead the Bulldogs into their game against the Wildcats. Let's take a look now at tonight's Reese's Perfect Play. And a senior, a point guard who has really impressed Coach Knight, Dash Harris, has done a lot of really nice things for the Aggies in this game.
Harris has been very good with the basketball. There was a great steal that he made. He had 3 quick assists in a row, and now he's got the ball again on top. Let's just see if he can get it going in a way that enables him to score. Good feed there. Missed a feed inside.
They come out of their zone, which they've done on occasion here today, and they got a bigger player, a 6'5" wing guy in Pointer on the point guard Dash Harris. Keith Davis, a long jump hook.
That was Keith Davis.
Boy, Davis looked awfully good on that move.
4 points on the day for Davis. The lead has grown to 8 for the Aggies, nearing the midway point of the second half. More patience here from St. John's offensively.
One of the things A&M has done, this really helps them defensively, I think. They're not going out on the floor when the St. John's big kids, whether it's Pointer or Harkless or whoever, goes out to handle the ball. They stay inside. The defense stays inside, and that just makes it that much more difficult for St. John's to drive the ball to the bucket.
Third foul on Ray Turner, and God's gift Achua will be going to the line now for the Red Storm. Third place game here with the 2K Sports Classic benefiting coaches versus cancer. St. John's against number 18 Texas A&M. The Red Storm have never led in this game. Got it down to 2 on a couple of occasions. They're down 8 right now with 10:08 to go in the second half. And Mississippi State and Arizona still to come in the championship game 20 minutes or so after the conclusion of this one tonight, also right here on ESPN2. We got more basketball next week. We're going to Kansas City to spend a couple of days there, Monday night and Tuesday night, where Coach Knight will work a couple of games with me, Dick Vitale as well, and we will see Missouri, Notre Dame, Cal, and Georgia in that tournament.
That's always been a good tournament, well attended. It's another opportunity like this one to see what you've got against good teams early in the season. Most of the tournaments played across the country, Dan, that are early season tournaments give you a chance to play against good teams and really see what you've got rather than just the kind of scheduling that you have that where you're maybe playing teams with lesser talent than you've got. Yeah.
You mean, as Dick would say, cupcakes? Cupcakes not in your basketball vernacular, huh? We'll leave the cupcakes to Dick.
I think we'll let my longtime friend Richard with the cupcake. Harris made a heck of a move coming up with that pass.
Elston Turner the kick. Kinsley another 3, a little strong.
But now see, that's Kinsley's second shot without the shot fake. He makes a shot fake. It's an entirely different offensive opportunity for A&M. He's been in the game, taken 2 outside shots, not made the shot fake yet.
A much slower pace at the offensive end for St. John's, routinely working down to 10 seconds or below on the shot clock in their last few possessions. Harkless is fouled. If it's Ray Turner, who's waiting to see if it's on him. I don't believe it was. Was it Kinsley reaching in? It was Kinsley. First on Kinsley.
The thing that has to happen to prevent that foul from occurring, Dan, is on the pass into the postman. Help defense has to move with the pass. Like that time, it had to come from the left side of the bucket. On the pass, the defensive man there has got to move in to double up, and then it's not a one-on-one situation. You get a one-on-one as the pass goes into the postman.
Coach, the foul situation this half is similar to what it was in the first half. At this point right now, St. John's has committed 4 fouls. A&M has committed 9. The quickness of the Johnnies and the ability to penetrate of the Johnnies really putting A&M in some foul difficulty. Harris might have gotten away with one there as Lindsey was looking to take the charge.
Well, now see, that's just too much the ball in one guy's hands. They haven't been able to get anything out of this.
Harris bounce pass, no look into Ray Turner, and we can see why Ray Turner shooting 70% on the season, getting so many looks right around the rim.
But Harris created that basket, but he just had the ball in his hands way too much on the dribble. We got
Johns, it feels like gaining more and more momentum in the last couple of minutes. Shot clock down to 10 again. Harkless drives, floater no. And it's out of bounds to St. John's. It has been ruled the shot didn't hit the rim, so there's 3 on the shot clock.
Here we're going to see a good passing sequence right here. Move with the ball, look for people that are open. Good drop-off pass by Harris, and an easy bucket.
For a foul call, didn't get it. 3 on the shot clock as the Red Storm inbound. Shot clock violation, A&M ball. Outside shooting continues to be a weakness for St. John's. Much better at penetrating into the paint, getting to the rim.
St. John's has applied very good defensive pressure here in the second half, and A&M has not reacted real well to it. Harris is out for a little blow right now, so it's going to be somebody else handling the ball.
Pointer called for the foul. Timeout on the floor. The hometown St. John's Red Storm trying to give New York something to cheer about, but they're down 6 to the Aggies right now.
The 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches vs. Cancer is brought to you by 2K Sports, creators of the best-selling and top-rated NBA 2K12 video game. In stores now, rated E for everyone. And Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network.
You can see the renovations are underway. It's a 3-step process over 3 summers. When the Knicks and Rangers aren't playing, they're going to renovate Madison Square Garden. Step 1 is done. Some luxury suites, some newer, wider seats, wider concourses, more concessions. The entire lower bowl has been redone. The upper level, where you're looking right there, has yet to be renovated. That is part of stage 2. I know you've got some good memories over the years from playing and coaching in this building.
Well, you know, my playing actually goes all the way back to the old Garden in 1960-61, and then almost every year, certainly every year I was coaching at West Point, which was I couldn't have had a better opportunity to coach than there. We played in the Garden, either in the NIT or during the regular season, and then anytime we had an opportunity to do so when I coached elsewhere, we came here to play. Madison Square Garden is awfully one of the great things to remember in basketball.
Yeah, and even for kids today, for kids from all over the country, some of whom have been to New York, most of whom have never been to New York, they all know this building and they all aspire to play in this building. Kinsley, the air ball. Robertson misses the follow. Here comes Lindsay. A 6-point deficit for St. John's, 7:20 to go in the second half.
I would not want Harkless, although they've got 3 big kids inside, so they're using Harkless as a ball handler. They got to help. They helped good. They helped well there. I thought they were going to wind up with a foul.
Elston Turner helps, comes up with the steal, and an air ball from the corner by Branch, and a miss on the follow by Ray Turner, who won't have an easier shot all day.
See, that's one of the things that I really, really dislike about that quick shot that was taken there. It was a 3. You didn't need that. You've got a lead of 6 points at that time. Let's work it around till we get to the free throw line. That's the worst shot that's been taken in the game so far, that shot from the corner.
Coach, that's St. John's first field goal in 8.5 minutes. They get another one here, and they're going to the line with a chance to tie.
All right. All right, here we're going to see really good ball movement here from side to side. Look to go to the corner. A&M doesn't get out to the corner. And here we have a very good defensive play to start with the completion of the bucket. And they've just been sharper. They've been more aggressive. They've been sharper. They haven't made the kind of mistakes since the first 5 minutes of this second half, Dan.
Elston Turner was called for the foul, his 4th. He goes to the bench. Turner and David LeBeau each on the bench with 4 fouls. Sir Dominic Pointer at the line. They're getting their chances at the line, but they're not doing a great job converting at the line. They have had some opportunities, so it remains a 1-point lead for the Aggies.
Boy, that last shot that A&M took in the previous possession was the worst shot of the ball game, because it enabled them to come back and get within 1. St. John's, a just terrible shot.
30-second timeout taken by Billy Kennedy, the head coach of Texas A&M. Let's take a look now at tonight's game track, brought to you by Verizon Wireless. It's been close throughout, although St. John's has never led in this game. Ray Turner capitalizing on the inside. Some good feeds from Dash Harris, helping him to his 14 points. St. John's getting out-rebounded badly. Only 4 field goals in the second half, yet they're down only 1 point.
One of the things that's kind of interesting here is that the total shooting for threes is 7 for 27, combining both teams.
Yep. and A&M still only has 4 made threes. They had 3 of them in about the first 3 minutes of the game.
St. John's really deserves an awful lot of credit, because there have been 3 times when this game could have been broken wide open.
Yep.
And they've been quicker. They've hustled a little bit more, and just simply made better plays. Here you've got a situation where the offense is going to be created by Harris, period. And that's something that I've just never liked about point guard, so to speak, basketball.
Robertson trying to muscle his way in, and he succeeds. Harrison, a quick 3 from the wing to tie it.
That's the three-pointer for D'Angelo Harrison.
Going to get a good look here. Move on the baseline. Real strong move. Strong effort up to the bucket with it. And then A&M doesn't keep track of what's going on, and they get beat at the other end. And now we have again a second good move in the post.
Turner's got nice patience down there under the basket.
Turner's good. He uses both hands in there, and when he gets the ball, he doesn't lose it, and he has not taken a bad shot in there.
His problem is he just picked up his 4th foul. So there are 3 A&M players, each with 4 fouls. 2 of them are on the bench. Ray Turner in the game.
You've mentioned it, but the he missed that one, but the free throw line has been a real key part of the St. John's offense, which also means that from a defensive standpoint, A&M is committing a lot of fouls.
It's amazing. St. John's has gone to the line 28 times. A&M has gone to the line twice in this game.
See, in that possession, nobody but Harris touched the ball. And you just can't have that on offense. I think the ball is just in his hands way too much out here.
Harrison took perhaps an ill-advised shot and then compounded the problem by committing a foul, his 3rd, the 6th team foul on St. John's. So the next one puts A&M on the line.
What you really want to emphasize here, and what he didn't, was patience. Let's make sure that we have a chance to draw the foul, get to the free throw line where we can score 2. And his quick shot there eliminated any chance of St. John's drawing a foul.
Harris, Hibbert, Branch, Ray Turner, and Robertson in the game for A&M. Backing down Achua, and he missed the layup. Lindsay. Again, the quickness of St. John's causing problems for the Aggies and putting the Red Storm on the line time and time again.
St. John's that time did just what they didn't do the previous possession. They took the ball to the bucket, and there was not only a chance of getting a basket, but Lindsay drew the foul. So here he's got a chance at 2. Last possession, St. John's had quick shot, no chance whatsoever of drawing a foul. They can win the ball game simply by shooting from the free throw in these last 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Getting to the line could win this game for St. John's.
Look at that difference. 2 for 2 for A&M, 19 for 29 at the line for St. John's. If Lindsay makes this one, the Red Storm will lead, and they do for the first time in this game.
And this again just emphasizes the importance of getting to the free throw line, which, as you just indicated, St. John's has done and A&M has not.
30 attempts to 2.
You see, we see the ball will go back to Harris. Hibbert will try and get a drive going here, and then maybe dump it off. But now look that you've got 3 guys over here just standing.
Harris off to Hibbert. He'll launch the 3. Rebound Pointer. Running the floor, Achua, and another foul. St. John's to the line when we come back. Steve Lavin of the Red Storm try to take it home strong here in the Garden.
Each of the last 22 meetings between Davidson and themselves, but currently Davidson is up by 2. You can see this game on ESPNU. It's early action right now, and St. John's up by 1. Late rally for them against the Aggies. See that game right now on ESPN2. We return with Dan Shulman and Bobby Knight.
Adnan, thank you. And we return to a ball game here where both head coaches are battling serious health issues. For St. John's, Steve Lavin, diagnosed with prostate cancer, had surgery in early October, just back with the team last week. Billy Kennedy, just several weeks ago, diagnosed with early stages Parkinson's disease, also stepped away from the team, now undergoing treatment. Back with the team as well. Both coaches say they are game with 4 fouls, making his presence felt. He'll go to the line looking for a three-point play.
All right, we're going to see a call here that maybe could have gone either way. Good pass, move to the bucket. That's depending upon the official's angle that he sees that play, which way it's going to go, block or charge.
Amazingly, this will be the Aggies just their 3rd free throw attempt of this game.
Well, and the other thing, too, though, Dan, is on the free throws, you look at St. John shooting 32 to 3 now, and you'd think they'd be 15, 18 points ahead.
The rebounding advantage giving Texas A&M extra possessions to help compensate for that disparity in the free throw attempts.
They've dropped their defense off a little bit so they don't have to guard the drive from as far out on the floor, which is a smart thing to do. And St. John's has got good patience, but don't be over-patient here because you get down to 2 or 3 seconds and you end up with a bad shot.
They're down to 4 right now. Harrison
like
stripped
that.
by Harris. Yep, good call, Coach. Harris has good hands defensively.
Well, he's quick, too, and he's aggressive. But see, what I don't like is 4 guys are standing waiting for Harris to create a situation where somebody has a shot.
Robertson sees a seam. St. John's ball. A look at the 5-hour energy Puerto Rico tip-off. Purdue is into the final after a win over Temple earlier today. Alabama and Wichita State tonight on ESPN2 with a championship game Sunday night on ESPN2. Alabama's off to a good start. Anthony Grant looks like he has a team to be reckoned with in the SEC.
Hubert had mentioned he's a friend of mine.
I don't think so, because he's still down there. If we see him back here, then maybe we'll know he did. Well, that's all wrong for God, don't you think? A foul on Hibbert of Texas A&M.
Yeah, Hibbert reached in. That was not a bad call. That was a good call. Maybe a hair late, but it was a good call.
Hibbert becomes the 4th A&M player with 4 fouls.
Well, and here we go to the free throw line again with an opportunity to score 2 from the line. You know, when you look at the point differential that we've got here between, you know, we're talking almost a 20-point differential at the foul line.
Yep.
And that's why the foul line is so important. It's so important that defensively you move your feet. Most fouls are committed with your hands. You're reaching, you're grabbing, you're holding. Keep your hands out of the play. Play defense with your feet. And the more that we can get an advantage at the free throw line, the better we're going to be. Without that advantage, St. John's wouldn't even be close to being in this game.
1 of 2 for Lindsay to tie it. St. John's now 21 of 34 from the line in this game. Well, if they can get better at the line, it's obvious they're going to get to the line a lot this season. This is a trend that's been continuing, but they've got to get a little bit better at knocking them down once they get there.
One thing that they want to do, a big kid like Pointer on Harris, he's got to back off of him. He can't give Harris a shot at going right around him easily.
Harris in there for the loose ball, but he stepped out of bounds.
They put the ball in the corner and didn't get it out of the corner. When you get the ball into the corner and the passer stays where he is, waiting for a return, it's easy to double up on the ball. just think Harkless is too good to be out on the floor. Get him inside.
Nobody near the paint right now for St. John's. They have spread the floor. Lindsay calls out a play with 15 on the shot clock. Pointer. Harkless thought about it. Shot clock at 7. Harrison will do more than think about it. Misses the 3. Ray Turner the rebound, and now A&M can take the lead. And a timeout taken by Billy Kennedy. A minute 14 to go in a tie game. A&M ball. Well, the St. John's Red Storm last year brought a lot of excitement back to this building. This is a different team. Almost all of these players are gone, but they beat ranked team after ranked team here at Madison Square Garden. Georgetown, Notre Dame. They beat Duke by 15. Ran them out of the gym 93-78. They beat UConn, the eventual national champions, and then they beat Pittsburgh as well here in the Garden. And you can feel the excitement coming back for the Red Storm program. They had a 20-plus win season last year, made it to the NCAA tournament. This is a brand new bunch this year with all these young players. But definitely the seeds have been planted with Steve Lavin. The recruiting class he's brought in this year, there is some excitement there. People are starting to talk about this program again here in New York.
You got to really be impressed with the way St. John's has hung into this game and how, again, as we've mentioned many times, they've capitalized on the free throw.
20 on the shot clock, just over a minute left in regulation, tied at 56. Arizona, Mississippi State waiting for their opportunity in the championship game. Nearly a turnover. Boy, aggressive defense by the Johnnies. Elston Turner drives, off balance, no. Red Storm ball. A 16-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. And it looks like Steve Lavin's going to let him play it out. Is not going to call a timeout.
Get the offense up high. Get it into the hands of the best driver. Give him a chance to score both from the foul line and from the floor.
That's the guy with the ball right now.
Stay
Lindsay.
up high. There's the drive.
Harkless, no. Loose ball. Harkless again, and he's fouled.
Had a chance to win it right here. It was a result of the drive. It wasn't a great drive, but it was a move toward the bucket, and the foul creates a situation where they can go ahead with 21 to go.
David LeBeau has fouled out of the game for A&M. A tough day for LeBeau. Never really got on track. Just couldn't get consistent minutes. Was battling foul trouble the entire game. Courtney Robertson will take his place. And Harkless, a true freshman, has 2 big free throws coming.
A real key in this game, St. John's just staying in the game, has been their ability defensively to keep from making a lot of fouls. They've kept A&M off the free throw line, which is something that has been actually not a monumental importance to their opportunity to win this game.
Championship game still to come from New York City, Mississippi State, and Arizona. Right here on ESPN2 shortly after the conclusion of this game. One of 2. 1-point game.
Now A&M has got to keep the floor high so they have a chance to drive. All right, they're going to take a timeout, but what they've done a lot is get in a situation where they've dribbled the ball, but they haven't had an opportunity to drive it.
Difference in coaching philosophy. Billy Kennedy using timeouts each of his last 2 possessions. Steve Lavin letting him play on his. What was your philosophy late game?
Well, you know, it can go either way, Dan. When you take a timeout, what you're looking at is them doing exactly what you have set up. And if they don't do it exactly that way, sometimes you're just better off. And I actually think I probably had more success in letting them play, knowing what we had taught them to do in practice and what we wanted them to do.
Right.
And you remember probably the most significant thing I can think of was when Keith Smart made that basket in the NCAA finals. Great pass from Daryl Thomas. 3 or 4 other things went into it, but we actually did that without a timeout. And they reacted as well to what was going on as any team I've ever had in any situation. And you take that timeout, and then that also gives the defense a chance to do something up. They could double up. They could do something else. Sometimes we lost a game to Villanova, Rolly Massimino's team, and Rolly's having some health problems now. I hope that things are going better for him. One of the really good guys and coaches, but we lost the game there by taking a timeout. One of our players called it with 6 seconds to go, 1-point deficit, and we have to bring the ball back in bounds, and we just never got a good shot. If we don't call that timeout, we were set up to get a good shot.
Well, you know A&M's going to try to get the ball into the hands of Dash Harris to initiate the offense. They've got plenty of time. They're down by 1. Pointer doing a good job denying the opportunity for the ball to get into Harris's hand, and Texas A&M has to use its last timeout.
Harris had to make a better move, and he was too deep there. They had to set Harris up on one side of the lane, and the defense or the offensive postman, like a guy with Robertson's size, whatever, to come across and screen for him and get him the ball at the top of the key. See if they set up a different screening situation here.
Putting Pointer, a 6'5" guy, on Dash Harris has been effective at times for St. John's. It's given Harris some problems, trying to get around a big guy, trying to see over a big guy.
Well, what I would want to do under these circumstances is get Harris the ball and get the offense up high, not get the offense down low against the baseline. You get it up high, Harris has got a chance to get all the way to the bucket, or if he beats his man with the ball, he's going to get it back and have a chance to do something with somebody.
Now Harris will inbound it into the hands of Elston Turner. Still plenty of time. 10 seconds on the game clock, a 1-point deficit. Turner with a crossover, pull up, yes! Timeout St. John's. What a confident move by Elston Turner.
That was a big bucket. Isn't that a great observation on my part? that was a big bucket.
Junior, a transfer from the University of Washington, averaging better than 13 points per game. Boy, he did not hesitate to pull the trigger.
Now you're looking at 6 seconds to go. Now is to get the court spread at the other end, to get the ball up the floor as quick as you can. I would want to set up, if I were A&M, I'd want to set up in full court pickup to start with, and then as soon as the ball was handed to the official, drop back. But let them, force them to make a short inbounds pass. Now offensively, you want to get a setup down here where you've got somebody that's full tilt going toward the other end when he receives the pass, because that's going to save 2 or 3 questions, or 2 or 3 seconds rather.
And remember, any foul is 2 shots.
Yeah,
it's been so double bonus forever.
You get somebody like, let's say you have your choice of which side you want to take the ball out on. Big guy screens across for a guard, coming, getting the ball on the run. He's already full tilt as he catches a ball, and that gives him a chance to get down to the other end of the floor and come up with a decent shot. Steve
Lavin needed a little bit more time, so they have called an additional 30-second timeout so he can keep talking about the play that they want to run. Texas A&M leading by as many as 11 points in this game, Coach, for the Red Storm, with a big charge in the second half to get back into it.
We know the thing that would be difficult to notice here. Now that 3-point shot's great. They got a 3 out of it. But what they've done that's been so good is get the ball in position where they draw the foul. We've talked about that over and over again. But the disparity in the free throw line has been the only reason why St. John's is in this game.
They have attempted 36 free throws, making 22 of them.
And that's not even a great percentage.
No.
You know, they make 28 out of 36 or 29 out of 36, then you shot a good percentage. But That's just a very average percentage, about 65%.
A&M has only attempted 3, making 2. St. John's down a point.
Now there they got him moving.
Lindsey. And a block is called. 2 free throws coming for Lindsey. Boy, he is tough to corral with his quickness.
Well, the most important thing was that Lindsey caught the ball on the move. He didn't have to dodge anybody on defense down here. He caught the ball on the move.
Ray Turner called for his 5th foul.
All right, here comes Lindsey. That's, again, what the angle that you see it. That's the call is made from whatever angle you look at it from. But the key was Lindsey made that move. He was sprinting up the floor when he caught the ball. And so, Dan, he gets there, and it took him 4 seconds. There were 2 seconds left on the clock when he got fouled. So probably in about 3.5 seconds, he made that move down the floor.
Lindsey has been to the line a lot in this game. He is 8 for 14 in this game. 62% on the season entering this game. So he is not a great free throw shooter. 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. A&M out of timeouts.
One of the things we were talking about defensively too is and A&M has used timeouts, but see the setup and don't get caught where you're chasing the guy with the ball. Back off a little bit, make him come to you. This might show just a little bit of tightness on Lindsey's part here. Missing that first one was not good.
A&M down with the rebound, and they will hang on to win it here in the Garden. St. John's had 38 free throw attempts to 3 for Texas A&M. But St. John's loses, could not make free throws down the stretch, and the final score is A&M 58, the Red Storm 57 in the 3rd place game here with the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. Our player of the game tonight, Elston Turner of Texas A&M, hit the game-winning field goal in the last minute. One of his 3 buckets on the game, none bigger than that. And A&M wins 58-57 to take 3rd place. To go to 3-1 of the season, St. John's drops to 3-2 after 2 missed free throws at the end of the game, Coach.
You know, you made a great comment on Turner's basket when you said that he knew what he was going to do, and he did it without any hesitation, and he did it really well. It was as though he was working in a shot line in practice. He had everything under control that he did.
A&M 58 and St. John's 57 in the 3rd place game here in the Garden of the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. Coming up less than 25 minutes from now, the championship game. It'll be Mississippi State and Arizona for the 2K Sports title from the Garden. A good win for A&M. They hang on. They survive and win 58-57. Dick Vitale and I will be back for the championship game. But first, back to Adnan Virk and LaFonso Ellis in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Stan. College basketball live scoreboard. You know, a guy gets to the line sometimes, LaFonso, the jitters start to happen. Nerdy and Lindsey missing both of those. What's it like being at the line in a pressure-filled situation?
It's so nerve-wracking because you're trying to really focus on the front of the rim or whatever your target is, but you know what's on the line, and sometimes that's just enough to make you miss by an inch or long or short, and I think that's exactly what happened.
And we certainly saw a big discrepancy in terms of free throws. How significant was the difference for these two teams?
37-3 St. John's. And that's really what they do, Adnan. They put the basketball on the floor trying to get to the rim. They got to the free throw line 37 times tonight, and it came down to a free throw game, but they weren't able to make their free throws down the stretch.
What adjustment do you think they should have made later in that game? I know they obviously took the lead at one point, but most of the game they were struggling.
They really did. Offensively, they never threw the basketball into God's gift, Achua. He's a guy who can score it down in the low block. That would draw some much-needed attention. You have to double-team him. Now, all of a sudden, those driving angles open up even more. But at halftime today, he had 0 field goal attempts. Not good balance by the Johnnies.
Meantime, as far as the Aggies are concerned, Elston Turner making that game-winning bucket. What'd you see on that final shot?
Well, Chris Middleton is gone, their leading scorer, a guy who they depend on to get buckets. But it was clear that they wanted to run him off a screen and roll action. He just read it well, went underneath it, crossed over to his left, gave him some airspace to be able to get it off. And what a beautiful finish floating to his left, Michael Jordan-esque. Not quite, but close.
He'll take that compliment, though, if he's watching, or at least one of his friends will let him know that you said that, so at least he takes that the right way. As Dan Shulman mentioned, we are going until the top of the hour. We'll be talking about Arizona and Mississippi State. In the meantime, right now, though, Duke taking on Davidson. The first time Coach K returned to Cameron indoor since win number 903. You can see this game on ESPNU. Right now, Davidson has the early advantage, but for Coach K, it must be nice to go home.
It is, and what a career he's had. But I tell you, when you think about this team, they have Jake Cohen, 6'10", junior for Davidson. He's their second leading scorer, can rebound it, can score it. Got in a little bit of foul trouble early, but watch the matchup with him and the Plumlee brothers down low.
Duke has won 38 straight home games, the longest active streak in Division I, and they won each of the last 22 meetings between them and Davidson. So obviously the heavy favorite in this game. Of course, you can catch that action on ESPNU. We'll be breaking down lots of other college basketball action today. It's time to shift gears a little bit, though, and tragedy striking the world of college sports. Oklahoma State women's basketball team coach Kurt Budke, along with his assistant coach Miranda Serna and 2 others, killed in a plane crash in Arkansas late Thursday. The 2 coaches, who had worked together for more than a decade, had been on a recruiting trip. And Budke, successful junior college coach, returned an Oklahoma State women's basketball team into an NCAA tournament regular. He began his head coaching career in 1991 at Allen County Community College, a 2-time NJCAA Coach of the Year. He joined Oklahoma State in 2005, school record 6 wins versus top 25 teams, and a first-ever top 10 ranking for the Cowgirls last season. Oklahoma State President Burns Hargis distraught.
To lose anyone, and especially these 2 individuals who were incredible life forces in our family, it's worse beyond words.
He was a great basketball coach, but he was a better husband and a better dad and a better friend. And I think all the people that are in this room and knew Coach Budke are better off for knowing him.
Oklahoma State men's basketball coach Travis Ford told ESPN.com's Dana O'Neill, "I just found out, and there are so many unanswered questions. I just saw him. We talked every single day. He came to my shoot-arounds. It just doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real." Our own Doug Gottlieb, an Oklahoma State alumni, offering perspective.
I think we all have the same feeling. It's not fair. There's no way this should happen again. It shouldn't happen to anyone, let alone to Oklahoma State, a second time, 10 years removed from the previous tragedy. And then you couple with the fact that it's people that you hold in such high regard, not just professionally, but also personally. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem possible that this has happened again to Oklahoma State.
The loss of 2 family members is difficult on its own, but the fact that they are commemorating or just recently commemorated the loss of 10 men associated with the men's basketball program, it makes you a little bit angry. It's just very, very tough for that community. I can't imagine what they're going through.
Oklahoma State announced that the women's basketball team has canceled its next 2 games, both of which were to be at home, Saturday against Grambling State and Sunday against Texas Arlington. The college football team will play tonight. There will be a moment of silence at 7:45 Eastern for both those coaches, the 2 others who died in the crash. You can see that game on ESPN as they take on Iowa State tonight. Other major news, former Penn State head coach Joe Paterno has a treatable form of lung cancer, according to his son. Scott Paterno saying in a statement provided to the Associated Press by a family representative that the 84-year-old Joe Paterno, and saying his doctors are optimistic he will make a full recovery. As everyone can appreciate, this is a deeply personal matter for my parents, and we simply ask that his privacy be respected as he proceeds with treatment. Also, sad news from the ranks of college basketball. Former UCLA guard Walt Hazzard has passed away, born way back in 1942. He was one of the guys who helped John Wooden to his first title. As we take a look at Hazzard and his accomplishments overall, All-American guard under Coach Wooden, started on the 1963-64 team, which went 30-0 and won the school's first national championship. He was also a member of the 1964 U.S. Olympic team, played 10 seasons in the NBA, and was also the head coach of the Bruins from 1984 to 1988. LaFonso Ellis, you have a personal connection as well to Walt Hazzard. He recruited you way back when.
Yeah, just shocked at it. Back in 1988, when I was getting ready to go to college, I was actually going to go to UCLA. I had none, but at the last moment, my mom said she'd like me to stay close to home, so I went up to South Bend. But in the recruiting process, Walt Hazzard, nothing but a gentleman to both me and my mom, and so obviously it's tough to find that news out.
Yeah, sad day for Walt Hazzard and for the entire UCLA family. We'll take a break here on College Basketball Live Scoreboard. When we come back, Coach K returning home for the first time to Cameron Indoor since win number 903. A good matchup so far against Davidson. We'll tell you what's going down right after this. Stay with us.
College Basketball Scoreboard is brought to you by the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event, where you can drive away in any new 2012 VW for practically just your signature.
Only 3 points separate two drivers from a championship. One man with the turnaround season of a lifetime. One man grasping at victory with strength through consistency. Who can conquer the perils of Homestead Miami Speedway and go home the 2011 NASCAR Sprint Cup champion? Coverage of the Ford 400, Sunday, 2 Eastern, ESPN.
I know my man LaFonso Ellis fired up to see if Tony Stewart can get that done. In the meantime, Davidson and Duke over on ESPNU. Right now, it's just a 1-point game, LaFonso, under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
I mentioned you earlier about Jake Cohen from Davidson, really tough to guard on the inside. But what's really interesting about this Duke team is I'm interested to see if Andre Dawkins and Seth Curry and Austin Rivers can learn to play with each other. Austin Rivers more the playmaker, Andre Dawkins, Seth Curry more standstill shooters. I'm sure they'll figure it out after a while, and once they do, Duke will be tough to stop.
And once again, you can see this game on ESPNU, and you mentioned Austin Rivers. What have you seen so far from Doc Rivers' son? A lot of talk about him.
When you see these high school players and they come in, the first thing you notice is they don't play perimeter defense very well, but that's something that he'll learn how to do under Coach K, but certainly all the talent in the world.
Looks like a turnover there, and looks to be a 1-point game. Just 5 seconds left in this first half. So far, Coach K and his assistants not in the most pleasant of moods so far after winning number 903. It's been a bit of a tough battle.
Well, you have to know your personnel in that case. The better pass would have been to throw it up to the rim. He's got 3 guys, Ron Kelly, both the Plumlee brothers, who can go up and get it.
Bounce pass did not work in that. Once again, you can see this game on ESPNU. As we finish up the first half here, let's see what happens on this last play as the inbound, see if they can get the bucket.
Wow.
Foul, yeah, with time still left in the clock, it appears. That hurts even more for Coach K's team.
Wow, it does. And you think of Coach K and what he expects from his team defensively in terms of being disciplined in a play like that. Never foul a jump shooter, especially that far away from the basket. Plumlee has the ability to challenge that shot given his height, but couldn't quite get his balance in committing a foul. That's a tough play in that situation.
All right, give Davidson credit. Gutsy performance so far as we take a look at what has happened so far in this first half of play. They tie up the game, but how did it all go down? Coach K received a standing ovation upon returning home. First half, Duke down 4. Seth Curry with the steal, pushing ahead, layup, and foul.
This is where they can be so explosive because they run with great spacing, the ability to attack the rim, the hang time, the bumping in.
Later in the first, Jake Cohen hitting the 3, and Davidson is up. Later in the first, Davidson now up by 4, and Tyler Kalinowski dishing inside of Cherepowicz, getting it done. As right now it is a tie game at that. You can see that game on ESPNU. Temple and Purdue. Matt Painter and company in Puerto Rico. Second half, Purdue up by 7. Robbie Hummel, the ball stolen. Anthony Lee ahead to Ramon Moore, who will finish.
Did I just say so smooth? Ramon Moore, so smooth, just in case you didn't hear me, Adnan.
I hear you loud and clear, partner. Temple down by 5, 4 minutes left. TJ DeLeo passing ahead to Moore in transition. Owls down by 2. Moore finished with 27 points in this one. 3 minutes left, tied at 67. Purdue's Lewis Jackson. Tough lay-in and the foul. He had 26 points as Purdue wins this one 85-77. As we take a look, Purdue advancing to the championship game of the Puerto Rico tip-off. The Boilermakers will face the winner of Alabama and Wichita State. Those two teams play tonight, 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Two former Syracuse University ball boys have accused associate head basketball coach Bernie Fine of molesting them during the 1970s up until the 1990s, telling ESPN's Outside the Lines that information. Syracuse police saying they've opened an investigation into those allegations, and in a statement Thursday night, Syracuse said it has placed Fine on administrative leave. One alleged victim, Bobby Davis, told Outside the Lines that Fine molested him beginning in 1984, shortly before Davis entered the 7th grade. The second alleged victim, Mike Lang, now 45, is Davis' stepbrother and was also a ball boy for several years.
Mike, how many times, and I know this is a tough question, do you think he touched your penis?
I can't, probably 15, 20 times. When you tell him that, you know, first he just, when he first did it, he'd move away and you wouldn't say anything because you know, you didn't feel like you were capable of saying anything, you know. He's a god to you, you know, or he can do whatever he wants, but not with me. I didn't feel right about it. And I told him that, Bernie, please don't do that to me. And then, you know, he'd do it again and again and just made you feel odd.
What do you know about what your brother had?
Man, you know, Bobby can tell you what he wants to tell you. You know, I mean, I know he had a lot worse, and that just makes me want to cry.
When Bobby first came to you about this, Mike, what were you thinking?
I kind of knew it, but I didn't know that it happened to Bobby, but I knew that Bernie could be this way. And it just made me sad, and I just ignored it. I said, no, I'm not going to talk about it. This was like 8 years ago. And I said, I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to deal with it. I don't, you know. But after I see this come out with Penn State, now what's going on in this world with everybody else? This happened to my brother here in Syracuse. This happened in Penn State. Where else is it going on? It needs to be stopped, and that's why I came here.
In a statement released by one of his attorneys Friday, Fine says the allegations are, quote, patently false, and continued by saying, sadly, we live in an allegation-based society and an internet age where in a matter of minutes, one's lifelong reputation can be severely damaged. I am confident that, as in the past, a review of these allegations will be discredited and restore my reputation. Meantime, NCAA President Mark Emmert sent a letter to Penn State President Rod Erickson saying that the governing body for college sports will examine Penn State's exercise of institutional control over its intercollegiate athletic programs in the case of Jerry Sandusky, the former defensive coordinator accused of serial child sex abuse. Still to come here, Solomon Hill last night versus St. John's, 15 points and 7 rebounds for Arizona State. Countdown to tip-off continues. Lots more coming up. Stay with us.